All right. Hello there, and this is Triforce Translations. I am Juan Cruz, this is Charlotte, and that's Ryan. And today we're just talking about our, outcomes here, lessons learned for our translation of 1Q84. So,
Yes. So 1Q84 is a book by Haruki Murakami.
there you go.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1Q84 is a book by Haruki Murakami. We took the English summary of the book from Amazon and we translated it into our respective language pairs. So that would be Spanish, Chinese, and Japanese. The purpose of translating this is so that they'd be able to publish it on websites in the respective languages that we translated them into.
All right, so what went well? Overall, for me, I think that the planning stage addressed all our needs that we were looking for. Thanks with Adam, we were able to kind of see any additional steps that we needed during the kickoff meeting, and also just the flexibility and how the project could be handled itself.
And for me, I think it is good to have some in-person group meetings that helped us to have timely updates. And this can be largely attributed to the good and cooperative teamwork in which everybody is contributing their efforts.
And I thought this project was a great way to revisit all the different skills that we learned separately about Trados all in one go. And by doing it, I was really happy to see that I was comfortable navigating through Trados. At the beginning of the semester, I was quite intimidated by the platform, but now I feel really comfortable moving through it.
Cool. So the difficult part of it, I think the first one, it might not be related too much to the tech side, but not just having enough background knowledge about the text that we were doing made it a little bit difficult to find the correct words, or even for the style guide, whether or not we were including, like, for example, like an M dash that's included there. And also just like assuring that all the deliverables were accessible to the client, as it seemed like our client Adam wasn't as knowledgeable about how different files like Trados and stuff like that were. So making it easy for them to have access to it, but also their own, interpreters and stuff like that that might need it.
For me, I think the first difficulty is recalling specific processes like how to do pseudo translation and how to adjust QS checker settings. And the second is making style guide from scratch. I think this is specific to Chinese language because in English, we have the so-called like ADA grading system in which there are standards on how to use English language. But in Chinese, I don't think there is a wide accepted standards on how to use Chinese. So I had to start it from scratch, and I'm not sure whether it's correct or not.
And I think one of the difficult things for me was keeping track of all the deliverables. In my translation classes, we delivered the translations themselves, but this time having about 6 things to deliver, it was difficult to keep track of everything. And I still feel a little bit uncomfortable doing QA checks in Trados, so I think that's just an area where I personally need to improve.
In future projects, I guess if we all ended up working together, just make sure that we get any editors from the client side on board like ASAP, because that would help us do things, especially since we weren't really given, again, a style guide or any guidance. So having their own input on what they expect would be great. And just having additional knowledge of the project would be great as well.
And I would definitely set some routine meetings to share experiences and to solve some problems together because we will have some amazing insights together. And of course, the second thing is that I would definitely use Trello, which is a project management platform to keep track of each member's progress, to combine it with our outline so to see that who is on which stage will be really helpful.
And I was thinking specifically in terms of the quote, there were things that I might change. For example, the cancellation charge that was based on a percentage before of the total cost. In our meeting with Adam, he was telling me that it's much better to do that based on the work that's been completed at the point of cancellation instead. That way you can avoid being paid for 40% of the overall cost when really you've done 90% of the work of the project at that point. And also there were other little points in the contract as well. Like I would like to take out the part that says editing time may vary.
So overall, lessons learned, I would say just like streamlining the tasks made it pretty efficient for us. Even before we started doing it, we kind of started divvying up what we were going to do, what we expect out of it. More doesn't equal difficulty, in the sense that I think we tried not to tackle a very long text because we were nervous of how it would look like, especially between 3 languages. But I think we have decent expertise where we can actually do something bigger. And just communicating with everybody when stuck, especially with me, I had some difficult moments. So just asking them questions definitely helped a lot.
And for me, it's important to be cooperative and considerate all the time because you are doing one assignment with other team members. And second, because you are working for your client, it's important to think and act in client's shoes, to think about, do they really have that technology? Do they really know about anything about Trados? Or can they even really open that file? Third is ask questions to clients as well as our team members to keep track of everything that is, make sure that they're correct. And last, synchronizing, just as I mentioned about Trello.
And I think my main takeaway is to not be intimidated by the technology that we'll be using. The more you work with something, the more you'll come to understand the interface. And so maybe just from the beginning, having faith in yourself that you can figure things out is a really important kind of confidence to have in these projects. As well as Juan Cruz said earlier, involving the client editors earlier on in the project would really help establish style guides that are consistent and maintain a quality that everyone can be happy with down the road.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it. It was pretty fun, I guess. Thank you. See you.